you will want to listen very carefully to our next speaker. Sharing with us 3 critical facts you need to know before you upgrade. Here is Executive Director of Propnex, Mr. Kelvin Fong.
All right, thank you so much, Rachel. Hi everyone, good afternoon everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, especially today. It's a Sunday afternoon and you guys are actually watching me now live over here, and this is really not easy. Definitely, I'll be very happy to share the next 1 hour. I hope I can do as much as I can to cover all the necessary needs that you required, because today my topic is about what? Actually, it's the 3 critical facts that you need to know before you talk about upgrading. I think yesterday we talked about upgrading as well. Today I'm talking another different angle about upgrading and what are things that you should be looking out. In fact, yesterday I touched more on the HDB segment. Today I would like to touch something a little bit more different. So I really hope that all of you can benefit later on through all my sharings that I need to do and show it to you, right? So without much further ado, just a disclaimer for myself. Of course, whatever I shared here is based on what my knowledge is. Of course, all this carries certain risks, but not to worry. In fact, during my end of my segment here, I will tell you how to actually minimize this kind of risk if you really follow through the necessary steps. And that is important because why? When it comes to upgrading, right? I think a lot of people has a lot of what? Concerns and fear, especially we talk about what? Numbers. And that is something that I would like to touch on in a short while later. And today my topic is 3 critical factors. But of course, what is important here is that I'm going to cover 3 very important points. First, emotion versus logic. And this is something I would tell you, it always happens. When it comes to buying, when it comes to selling, everybody falls into this trap. And how can we actually avoid this trap? And later on, what I need everybody is very simple. Because yesterday we can't do a lot of things, but today I've actually managed to adjust quite a fair bit of things that we can actually ask you questions. And I really want you to answer as well. Why? In order for all of us to learn well, right, my friend, I think important is to interact, all right? Of course, I'm only facing a screen now, but I definitely feel that you can actually connect with me in a short while when I ask certain questions. And I want to tell everybody, this question has some meaning behind what I'm going to share with you in a short while later, all right? So, of course, the next thing is that I would like to talk about here is exit, because exit is very important. A lot of people know how to buy property, but the problem here is that they do not know how to sell. They do not know when is the right time to exit as well. So the next question here is, how do you determine? And this is something I believe that you will probably want to find out. Why? Because, right, sometimes wrong timing of selling, right, it resulted in what? You buy right can make money, no. Eventually you did not. And you wasted a lot of what? Opportunities as well. See, something that I think you should also find out. Of course, the last thing is what? Will I actually lose money? How can I avoid losing the money? This is something that I think many of you will probably have concern. And definitely, these are the 3 very critical facts that I think you should find out in today, my 1 hour webinar with all of you here. All right, without much further ado. Now, the first question, right, I want to ask every one of you here. How many of you agree with me? Knowledge, is it important? Is it a yes, no? I need the polling question now. Come, let's take a look at the polling question, right? I just need every one of you to do me a favor, is to ask yourself this question. Is knowledge important? Is it a yes, no, or do not know? So let's see, right? If you are in front of the screen now, you probably can actually see the polling question. What you need to do here is to press the answer that you want to. Because later on, right, there will be some other question I would like you to do so. Why? Because I always feel that this is a better way to connect with you guys here, right? I won't give you very difficult question, but definitely some question will be so easy for you to answer. And not to worry, a short while, I'll give you the answer, how people think whether knowledge is it important or not. All right, let's see. So let's see whether the polling result, is it out? Now we can stop the polling now. Let's take a look. Wow, the result shows that 98%. Exactly, because why? If not, you all will not be what? You all will not be actually what? Looking at me now. That's the main thing. The reason why I ask this question is because I want to make sure that we are at the right what? At the right page. And I tell you, why is it so important? Real estate is all about knowledge. And that's the reason why we want to organize the Singapore Property Show. For what purpose? So that all of you can actually get what? Some answers from all the different speakers who has been spoken to you since yesterday until today. And I believe many of you probably have many great takeaway here, right? So I think when it comes to upgrading, a lot of people always have this concern called what? Fear. So the question is, why is it people have fear? It's very simple. Let me explain to you. This is my first HDB flat I bought in Woodland. Hey, this HDB flat, right? The only thing that is sad is what, I lose money. The only good thing about this HDB is what? It changed my life. Because why? It actually allows me to become a what? A real estate person. Without this house, I would never know what is called real estate at that point of time with my wife. But definitely this particular job, this particular flat has really turned me around in my life, right? So, but why did I make a loss? Because why? I bought at 210 and I sold at 220. Eventually, I still lose the $10,000. Why is it so? Of course, there is always a reason, because the CPF that we are talking about, right, is the accrued part that we actually lost in terms of money. And at that point of time, to be honest, I don't even know what is HDB, whether should I buy this or where this location here. To me, I have never thought about this because I only think about one thing. I know that I'm an Air Force regular. I only tell my wife one thing. I cannot afford to buy a BTO at that point of time. I tell my wife, let's go for a resale flat. Why? Because why? Resale flat, I get a brand new house, a newly young couple house. I don't need to spend a lot of money to do that. So that's why I decided to go for a resale. I never thought about making money, but I never thought about losing money. That's the problem here, right? But I decided to start my first property investment. And this is, I'm not so sure how many of you know where is Mackenzie Road. And I bought this property at $550,000 for 2-bedroom in District 9. To be honest, at that point of time, me and my wife is so stressful, So stressful. Why? Because we scared what? We scared to lose all our hard-earned money away. And honestly, after 3 years, I only made 80,000. After waiting for so long, and I eventually made 80,000. Is it good enough? Actually, not bad lah. Because why? My down payment 120,000 and 3 years I made 80,000. Actually, not bad lah. For a first timer who go into investment, right? Is it something good? I think it's good for me. But the only thing is that what I have learned. And why did I actually decided to buy? Because why? First, I was thinking this is a freehold property at District 9. I don't think it will go wrong lah. But I still have a lot of fear. Why do I have a lot of fear? Because I don't know whether is it good or not. You know what made me buy this property? When the agent over there say 80607 so, 05067 so, wow, then I kanchiong already, right? What will happen next? I tell my wife, we better what? Take action. So you see, sometimes we are being pushed into a situation, right? We take action based on what? We take action based on emotions. This is the part that we do not know whether you're right or wrong. We only based on one thing. Guts feel. So guts feel, is it dangerous or not? Luckily, I make some money. But what happened if it's not, right? But why people actually worry so much? Because we are worried about hard-earned money, right? I mean, honestly, 120,000 to many people out there when you're 20-something years old, right? I think it is definitely a big sum of money. And we are so worried because we work day and night just to save the money. So the concern is what? Why lose my money? And that's the reason why, my friend, we need to have what? We need to have knowledge. So why do we have fear? It's because we do not know what happened, whether we'll make money or not, right? Is there a certainty? Is it normal to have that fear? Actually, it's normal. But why is it so? Because we don't have knowledge, right? So that's the reason why, my friend, real estate is not just about buying and selling a property. Real estate needs a lot of what? Knowledge. And why do I talk about this? Because why? Because all of us here, right, we work day and night. We cannot afford to what? Lose away all this hard-earned money. But why people actually make a loss? Why people did not actually do it well? Because very simple, knowledge. You know what? Just now that property that I bought, right? I hold for 3 years. And in fact, I sold it away. I went to buy another property at Robertson 100, right? Within 3 months, I make 300,000. Why is it so? Because it's all about, of course, because 3 years knowledge, building up the knowledge that I have, right? So within the 3 years time frame, right, I actually make what? Make a very fast return based on the property. And last time, I tell you, my friend, there's so many things that I can easily do when it comes to property. But of course, today, there's so many cooling measures here. A lot of things has been what? Changed. But that does not mean that we cannot make money. No, we still can. We still need to grow our money through what? Through assets, right? But in order to do that, my friend, very important here is what? We must know what kind of mindset that we have. First, I want to ask every one of you here, do you think that you are a fixed mindset or are you a growth mindset? For those people who are actually a growth mindset, can you press a 2 inside your chat group or not? So that we can see whether how many, every one of you are 2, right? I guess so, because I see from the result will be very clear. Many of you, thank you so much for participating with me as well, right? Thank you so much, which you can choose not to, but you guys really amazing. Thank you so much. And I see, wow, midway. Oh, midway is also important because why? You are attending the workshop now, right? Through all these different seminars, you can actually what? Learn, right? So what is the difference, man, my friend? You can see a fixed mindset is always what? I cannot own a private property. Last time, I also never think I can own a landed property as well. But today, what happened? We can always say what? Cannot one. You know, I've met a lot of people out there, right? They always tell themselves not possible, can't. But they are very busy working hard. The question is it busy working hard will make you richer? No. But because we tell ourselves it's impossible, we shut the door of ourselves, right? Later on, I will show you an example. Someone who is not really educated, but today he owns 4 property. But why? Because he's willing to what? Learn. Why am I going through all this very simple thing? You may think it's simple, but I tell you it's not. Because why? I've seen a lot of people become richer and become better because they are learning. But I see a lot of people choose not to. And I need to what? I need you to understand that it's important. Please don't say no to yourself. Please say yes to yourself. And after these seminars, you must say what? Yes, I can actually what? Make things work, right? That is really important. Need to save enough money, right, before investing. This is the worst group of people. Why? This is very traditional way of thinking. Why? Because they never know. They worry. That's why I'm saying, right? Knowledge is important. Knowledge is important. Sometimes by working hard and save, is it easy? I just need to ask every one of you here, if you just think back, right? You just think back. The last 3-4 years you are working, you ask yourself, by working hard can save 300,000 or not? Don't talk about 300, talk about 100,000. Is it easy? Unless you're a high flyer, right? How many high flyer in the 20% of the market are high flyer, right? But 80% are general, right? In terms of enough or probably not too bad. But the question here is, do we really save? I tell you, I think people who earn 10 over 1,000 to really save 100 to 200,000, actually not easy. Why? Because very simple. We have children education, housing, everything. You earn more, do you spend more? You too. And that's the reason why, my friend, it's important to what? In a growth mindset, where we learn to see how the rich become richer, how they actually use property to help them, right? Look for opportunity and never say no. Of course, invest rather than save. And my friend, if those people who attended my segment yesterday, I tell everybody one thing. Your prime time is at 30 years old to 45. This is the time that you must what? You must learn how to use money to what? To work hard for you. And just now I was listening to one of our KEO, Yong Ho, was talking. One of the biggest mistakes is I never invest early. I never start early. And that's the truth. I'm very lucky because why? I'm the real estate business. That's why I have this opportunity to be what? To be able to understand what are the rich people do, how they manage to make it happen. And that's the reason why I do what? Very simple. Modeling is the faster way to grow, right? So, because why? I choose to be what? The growth mindset. And I'm very happy that, my friend, all of you here today is that you deserve a round of applause because you guys are here watching and listening to me. That only show one thing. We are all in the growth mindset. And that is really amazing. Why? That's why I say model successful investor, because 90% of the millionaire out there is what? In real estate. Invest in real estate. So please believe it. You cannot say no. Real estate definitely is the way to become what? The millionaire that you have. I can only tell you because I have done it myself. If not, I dare not tell you. I want to tell you this because I myself never do it. But because I've gone through many different number of years of my career, it allows me to what? To learn and understand how to help individuals to become better off, right? So now I want to ask you guys here. Now all our thinking process is what? Actually, is this one. Why? Now we have another stricter COVID-19 is upcoming already, right? So what does it mean? People will start to think, is it the right time? Should I wait further? Maybe I can get better deal later on. Maybe should I think about it later on. I see how the price come down. Next, how about it? Right? Pandemic. Sorry, my second question is not out yet, right? So next thing is what? Pandemic. And this is something what? We are talking about uncertainty, right? You see, a newspaper is yesterday, I talked about this again, right? Newspaper article says what? Uncertainty. So what the question is what? Is it the right time? Now is the time for the second polling question. My friend, I want to ask all of you here, can I have the polling question to ask? Is it the right time to buy now? Right? Can I have the second polling question? Unfortunately, I cannot control the polling question. I'm not so sure you guys has already completed your polling question. All right. So, yes. So is the polling question there? What's the link? What's the link for lucky draw? I asked for polling question. They asked for lucky draw link. So sorry about that. Right. So I'm not so sure whether the polling question is already done. All right. If it's not sure. Huh? Oh, good. Right. The result is here. Yes. Wow. No, not sure. Exactly. You see, this is the good thing that we have seen here is what? Quite a big percentage of the number of people say that I am not sure. And that is important. Now, beside this question, people will say, what? No, this is definitely not the right time to buy. We shouldn't be buying. So the question is this logic or emotion? If those people will say it's emotion, you can, in your chat group, right, type number 2. Whether is it number 2 or not. If you think that it's emotion, yes. Wow, I see a lot of people do. Well, why do I ask everybody this question? That means we must be very clear. Every time when we make a decision to buy property, you have to ask yourself this question now. Is it based on logic or is it based on emotion? So when we are in the emotion state, we always say what? No. And I can tell you, a lot of people who never buy property will tell you what? Please don't buy, because why? Because they say they are aligned with you. But it's like that one. Law of attraction says what? When you really attract to the right group of people, they always will buy together. But you attracted to those people who doesn't want to buy, they will say no. But I want to tell you, whether yes or no is not important. Important is what I want to tell everybody is what? Let's look at the facts first. To determine whether yes or no. You are not wrong to say no or yes. But you must always find out
I'm
what?
so sorry.
Facts. So our judgment must be very clear. Logic or emotion. Just like if you everybody chong to the show flat and buy property at that point of time, right? Is it considered the best time? You also need to think. When nobody is rushing, you see, go to a show flat that's empty, like ghosts, like Chigwe, like that, right? Nobody want. Does it mean it's no good? But most people will think, like ghost town like that, So is it the right time to buy? So people will definitely have that emotion struck you. Please don't buy, right? But is it normal? Actually, it's very normal. So that's why I need to bring everybody to the logic framework. For me, why am I telling you here is because very simple. I'm a super logical person. My wife is an emotion one. And that is important. When two logical or too kiasi people, right, like me, I always calculate a lot one. That's why you see all my seminars that I did, right? It's all about facts. Why? Because I don't have logic, I don't have facts, I dare not do anything. But my wife is the one that say, go chong. That's why I tell all the guys here, right? Please sometimes must listen to your wife. Your wife is very important because why? I believe in my wife, right? That's why I actually own multiple properties because of she is daring enough than me. But nothing wrong because guys are generally much more what? We tend to be more careful and worry a lot of things, right? So, but very important is what? We still need to look into what? Logic, right? So that's the reason why this illustration will tell you. You see, most people would buy when everybody rush one. But everybody will start to sell when everybody's scared one. You should be the one that is going to what? Buy, sell. But people always don't buy it. So at the end of the day, what happened? Repeat the whole cycle, it become what? Forever is like that, right? So why am I telling everybody this? The reason is very simple. If you look at today's situation, it's called what situation? It's called confusion. Not sure, unstable. When it's stable that time, right, you will see what happened. Wow, stock market goes very high, property price goes very high. That's called what? Stable. But do you want to buy when it's stable or do you want to buy when it's unstable? So logic and emotion come into what? Picture, right? You need to decide, right? So everyone is confused. Government also say, I'm watching you now. I'm watching all the developer. I may come a cooling measure here and there. So now the COVID, now another second phase lockdown. Third, now the the government is also saying, I'm watching. So now what is the state now? The state is actually what? Confused. That's why I use the word confused. Confused means unstable. Unstable means where everybody have what? Fear. So developer, will they have fear? Actually, they have. Because they have so many units to sell, right? Will they have fear? They definitely have fear, right? So isn't it a good time to look at this when they have fear? Or do we want to buy from them when they have no fear? This is the third part that, right, you probably need to think through what is more suitable for you, right? So now, I want to ask you facts. Due to all this uncertainty, I can only tell you, people expect, developer want to lower down the prices, cannot run, right? Nothing wrong. Let me ask you again. Look at today's stock market. The stock market, instead of, I honestly, when the government said lockdown, right, the next thing I expect, what? Wow, will the share price drop or not? Maybe I have another opportunity. Unfortunately, what happened? Actually, the stock price never dropped. It went up some more. So this is really a little bit what? Confused, right? Now, you look at the non-landed new launches. I just want to point you to this particular position. Because now is the second phase of lockdown. We need to come back to this original state, which is 7th of April to 1st June. If you look at the mass market, or you probably look at the, let me see, I can't even see. If you look at this point of time, right, in April, it's about 2350 per square foot. And if you look at this 2000 to 2005, in fact, it did not actually what? Really come down a lot. But if you look at this period of time, the price per square foot, right, actually did not really drop a lot within that cluster, within this whole cluster, if you see, the numbers did not actually drop drastically. And the worst is what? It did not drop drastically, it actually continued to move forward. So, if you are thinking, should I be waiting or not? I can only tell you one thing. The past has told us that it has not much of effect. What will happen now? Actually, today, a lot of people are buying property because of what? Because of liquidity in the market, because they are looking at long-term investment. That's why today you see that market actually goes up instead of down. Despite this kind of worldwide situation now, right? Singapore is property prices is just like resilient, just like Hong Kong, China. The property price, you look at the three areas are all moving upwards, right? Why? Actually, we are very clear, no, the government plays a very, very important role. And that's why I'm saying, look at the foreigners have not even stepped in yet. Would there be an opportunity if you were to come in? I can only tell you one thing. The past has not taken effect even with such a major cooling measure. Now with a much more controlled environment where the government has much more so-called knowledge of how to manage it, will it actually cause the prices to drop? I really need you to think. Because why? Yesterday, those who attended probably can hear different segment of what I've delivered. But today, I may not cover in that aspect, right? But this is what I'm trying to cover to tell you one thing. Despite this so-called second phase of lockdown, the effect on the prices, in my opinion, may not be strong. And I'm very sure that next week when my boss Ismail Yong Hong, they talk some more, they will give you a clearer picture of all the numbers that will help you to understand. If you look at the resale market, same thing. The resale market over here also does not actually fluctuate a lot. And if you look at the overall, it's still a plus sign. This is the period that we're talking about, which is the lockdown period. So now, just now I mentioned to you, should we be looking at when people are confused, or should we be looking at when everybody is very clear? You need to think. You need to be logical. You cannot be emotion. Because when you're emotion, you can't see a lot of things. And that is very important here. So if you look at the overall real estate cycle, I can only show you one thing. Every time a low is always higher than the previous low. Do you realize? Every time a high is always higher than previous high. And if you look at this little frame here, it went up. So despite that, you see, a lot of people are trying to what? Time the market. Let me come back to this again. You look at this. Everyone is trying to time the market. But You hope that the price can come down a lot. But what happened? The price did not. And it has rebounded. You are trying to time that little space, right? But you may not end up getting that space. But the worst is that you pay even higher subsequently. Is it very normal? Actually, it's very normal. By right, last year, April or May, if you can get something that is cheaper, you probably can get something cheaper than now. But because the number of units sold was so fast, the prices has also moved. But the good news here is that, right, today the developer also did not what? Raise their price. Why? Fear, worry, concern. So is it an opportunity for all those people who are watching me now? I can only tell you based on facts. I cannot tell you based on emotion one. Emotion doesn't work on me. That's why I prepare facts for you to look at what? To understand whether is it logic or emotion, right? That's for you to decide. So to me, I see what? I see an opportunity for many people out there. And whether do you see this opportunity or not, let me ask you again the next question. Now, I want to ask all of you here. Third question of the polling. Can I have the polling question? Is this project landmark a good price to buy with a price tag of 1,009 plus per square foot for a city central? 1,009 plus. Okay, help me to answer this question, right? See whether how many of you think yes, how many of you think no, how many of you not sure, right? Let's answer, let's look at this. After this, we will know the answer whether yes or no or what, right? I hope everybody can key in your answer, probably just another 10 more seconds or so, we will release the information out so that everybody is clear whether is this a good price for every one of you here. Let's see. All right, can I have the results, please? Oh, wow. 64% say yes, not sure got about 12%, and 24% say not sure. Oh, okay, which is a good thing. Not sure, why? Not sure, must find out answer lah, right? That is the key, right? But you see, when we look at this project, it's like the city central, right? I think and it's so near to Robertson area, it's so near to town, it's so near to where Orchard area. So the question is 1,009 plus per square foot, is it good or no good? Can we base on emotion to make decision? Cannot. So what I always like to do here is that, right, in future, when you want to buy something, you ask yourself, is this price logical? And I look at it. We have seen in Mayfair Gardens, which is Upper Bukit, in Bukit Timah area, in Park Colonia, right, Potong Pasir area, in Atrox Sterling area, 1,009, Woodley, Mayfair, Sterling, in different locations, it already tells me one thing. Buyers are willing to accept such prices already. That means people can accept such pricing. So if I'm going for 1,009 plus per square foot, is it something that is reasonable for me to enter? What I'm looking at is something that is what? If people are already willing to pay such prices, and now if I'm willing to buy at these prices, is it worthwhile? That's what you need to find out answer. So when you want to buy something, we cannot base on emotion to make judgment. We can only base on what? Logical way to make judgment. So the only logical way is to what? Ask information, right? So very simple, right? What you need to do here is to ask your relevant agents out there to tell you, hey, is this price right or not? Show me how is it work, right? So I'm very sure that, of course, my agents who train, definitely, I know they will definitely show you all these numbers, right? That makes sense or not. I leave the final decision to you, right? Of course, next, we also see that in 2018, right, Park Place, Paya Lebar area, prices has done 2,002 per square foot. You see, when the market is good, right, people can willing to pay 2,002 per square foot. So now, if this is right at the smack of the city at 1,009 plus per square foot, is it something that I will consider? So I base on what? Logic. So when I come to my own investment, same thing. I will do a research for myself. I will do homework to ask myself, in the past, people can expect to pay this. So now if I'm buying something at such price, is it a safe bet for me? That's what I always look at, right? Look at Woodley, right? Same thing. Same thing in Potong Pasir area, Bidadari area. People already paid such prices. That means, I would say it's like an opportunity. That means people willing to pay today at this location means that if I'm buying at this price, is it safe for me? So I based on very simple, no emotion attached, but based on logical effect, right? To make. And my objective very simple, my friend. I'm not here to ask you to buy lemon. No. I'm here to tell you one thing. When you want to make a decision that time when it comes to buying any properties, your job is to what? Ask for facts. Please don't say no. I cannot buy one, cannot buy one. Then you are in a what kind of mindset? Which is the fixed mindset, which is not what we are looking at. We are looking at what? The growth mindset, which is a G mindset, right? Not the F mindset, right? Fixed mindset. So it's important, right? So that's the reason why, my friend, it's always good to what? Find out answers. Then your judgment will be clearer in times to come. So first thing that I want to talk about these factors so much is about what? It's all about emotion and logic. So I want to tell every one of you here. Later on, I will cover different aspects, which again talk about this thing. But if I don't solve this thing here, right from the start, we will never move forward, right? Because why? We always start in emotion one. Especially you like to talk to different people who never listen to my talk, they will think, oh, emotion, no, cannot. So we must always have what type of judgment fixed. Whether is it emotion or logic, very simple. Your framework of your mind will tell me, hey, I don't want to get into emotion state now. I want to look at numbers now. Then you will be safe. And I really see, sometimes the opportunity comes to your door in front of you, right? You never take action one. Why? Because you don't know, ma. And I think not possible, ma. What market is like that, ma? But sometimes the money is in front of you, right? But you did not take, right? Because why? Because we never want to find out information. So that's why I say, my friend, it's always good to what? Research. Don't say no. From now onward, my friend, all of us here, right? Can we say a yes or not? Can we say a yes? Inside your chat group, you can say yes. Why? So that you can motivate the rest of the people to what? And let's say yes together. Let's do it together, right? That is, wow. You see, this is better. I like to have this two-way communication. And I thanks everybody for participating with me as well, right? Really appreciate all of you here for joining me in this exercise here, right? Let's continue. Next, how do we determine the what? Exit strategy. Oh, again, emotion and logic will come into place, right? So now, I want to ask all of you here. Will you sell the Shaw Residences? You bought this property at $1.1 million and today it's worth $1.4 million. That means you make $300,000, right, in your profit. So next, every month you have a passive of $1,000. Will you sell? How many of you will sell one? If you want to sell one, put a one inside your chat group. Don't sell one, put number 2. Nobody put 2. Oh, well, at least I saw one. At least I saw some got put 2, right? You see, first and foremost, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wow, good, right? At least you know. You see, that's why I'm saying, whether sell or don't sell, we cannot look at what? Look at this. Let's look at what? Logic, right? Again, logic. How do we see? You look at the Shaw. Thank you so much for those people who are really participating with me, right? I really thank you for working with me. It's not easy, talk to someone in front of a screen, talk to a camera, right? But definitely, what is important here is that let's look at the facts. I plotted this chart. It shows that the price went up to here, right? But it has stagnant for how many years? 2013 until 18, right? I took until this period, right? It's already 5 more years. These 5 years, is it time wasted? But because why? People don't sell, I'm very sure one. They say, hey, I got passive income $1,000. My friend, $1,000, you need to save how long before you can save 300,000? You need to think. A lot of people always think, I want that short money, the small money. You actually forgo big money. That is important, right? If I were to sell this property at that point of time, the Shaw, right? What will happen? I can actually cash out my money to do what? To move forward and buy another property to give this kind of profit again. You see, important in life here is what? In real estate is what? No, oh, the water bottle dropped. Important is what? At the end of the day here is what? We need to think, we need to plan, we need to make sure we are growing money. You must have the mindset of growth and not let the money here stagnant, right? If you are letting the money to be stagnant, what happened? Your money is not growing. And that is what? Not right, right? So the question is, should I create more debt? Or should I be saving more money to buy before we can buy? My friend, if you are in the prime area, prime time, Debts is okay. This is called good debts. Bad debts are those credit card bill, those are no good. But property debt, very good. Car debt, also not very good. Depends on what trade you are, right? So no choice, right? But what is important? You should learn how to take profit out, right? To do what? To make more money, right? You see, if this person who sell the short, right, in 2014, and they re-enter to buy Bartley Ridge, right? And you see, the profit margin went up again, you know. So can I exit again? You look at it, in 2013, just like I show you, right? I sell my short unit. I went in to buy in 2000, I sold in 2008, right? 18, right? How many years? Again, right? 3 to 4 years. But I make how much? 300,000. But just now you saw the graph is what? Stagnant. That's why I say, my friend, you because of that $1,000 you want to earn your passive income, what happened? Your next 5 years, your money never grow. Then I ask you another question. The $1,000 you can see from this margin of profit, 300,000. You need to save how long before you can hit the 300,000? You calculate the number of months yourself. You will know that whether you are in a logic or emotion state. So for me, right, I make decision based on what? I base on very simple. I make money, I run. Why? I use my money to roll. In order to have more money, you need to roll more money. Not because of leveraging, no. But you still must plan. Later I will talk about the third thing called how to avoid losing money. But important, your mindset must be what? How to use your existing money to grow. But a lot of people don't do that. It's because of what? Because they never calculate. They always think beside. They always think cannot. That's the reason why they stop. But they work very hard. So you see the right way. I would say this is not the best way, right? We need to work smart. Leverage on what you can earn now, your income, to borrow. And I want to tell you one thing. If the bank dare to lend you based on your income $1 million, that means they know that property in Singapore is what? Safe, what? You try to ask the bank to based on your income 10,000, they can lend you 1 million to go and buy stocks, you know? The answer is very clear. They dare not. But buy property, give it to you, right? Why? Same thing, ma. The bank also play safe one, right? They also know what is safe, what is not safe, right? So very simple. You will know why the bank do it. So must you learn how to leverage the bank? You also need to, right? So that is important. Let's make sure that my time is correct, right? Next, HDB, right? Same thing. I bought 250,000. The next thing is what? Today worth 450. The question is, should I sell or not sell? I can't ask you more questions because why my time is up soon, right? Is it the right time? Very simple. Ask your agent, right? Now the price has already rebounded, like what I mentioned yesterday. Is it a good time? You see, this Punggol HDB flat, right? It's so sad, no? In 2012, they sold their property, right? They sold 600 over 1,000. 2019, they sold 400 over 1,000. You know the price they lost is 200,000. Oh my God, HDB lose 200,000 sim here, right? But if this person in 2012 went to buy another private property, what happened? They bought River Sound condo in 2012, they make 300,000, 200,000. You see, by sitting on your property, they does not grow. By moving forward, right, your money actually grow further by another 2 to 300,000. Which one would you want? So, my friend, you must learn how to go and accept things and work out your numbers. Please do not say no. That's why I started my talk to talk about emotion and logic. Because I realized that most of the people out there fall into the trap of emotion. And that is the main thing here, right? So I want to be very careful here to ensure that what? You did the right thing. Of course, the worst thing is that today I look at the Punggol flat, right? It has not really increased much in price. Why? Because the supply got too much over there, right? So now the question here is that if you today are staying in your HDB flat, what is your next step? You have to think carefully. I can only tell you one thing, your emotion. For the private property owner, you have to ask yourself this question. Speak to the right agents here to tell you, is your property stagnant? What should you do with your property? Should you just hold on to it? Let's be logic and not emotion. I have seen owners out there who spend 20 years in the HDB today, and today they don't make a single cent. Not one, two, I see many. And that's not what I want to see. And I really hope to see each and every one of you here to see yourself doing the right thing. And I want you to grow your money in the right way. Now, next thing, why people lose money? Again, can be because of emotion and logic one. So why? You look at this. I would say that this property, if you see very clearly, right? Oops. Right? If you see very clearly, what does it say? Almost, I would say, only 14.6% here or 15% lose money. 85% actually make money. But why these people lose money? Why they don't join the 85% category and join the 15% category? Why? Very simple. Let me show you. I bought this property at 1,006 per square foot, right, at Watermark. I never expect it drop to 900. No, I was shocked of my life. But you know why I never sell? Because I was thinking, the price actually went up to 1,007 plus. I say, no lah, let's wait a while more lah. Should I sell or should I not sell? Actually, at that point of time, I was thinking, you're too little profit, don't sell lah. And I got rental. So I just keep low. But is it wrong? Actually, also no right, no wrong lah, right? But honestly, if I were to sell at 1,007 plus and I cash out and buy again, maybe I can get something better. But the good thing here is that I choose not to sell. I don't have the urgency to sell. Because of what reason? Because I plan ahead. I have enough. So if I don't plan, what will happen? I kanchong, I will sell. Why? Market is collapsing. I want to sell. But I don't care. Why? Because the interest rate dropped to what? Less than 1%. I tell you, almost 0.5. I rented out my property at $5,000. And my interest is only $1,000 a month. 1 year, I only pay $12,000 interest. Someone pay me $4,000. Will you sell? I won't sell. So that's the reason why I choose to keep. But why did I keep? Because very simple. I have planned enough saving behind. I have planned enough reserve fund behind. Later on, I will show you why. Now, if you look at this, would there be people who are unprofitable in the same project? Yes. But there are many people who actually make money because they never do safety net. What does it mean by safety net? You look at what we do here. For us, right, we always have something called RAM. Our Propnex, we have the system RAM, right? We want to work out numbers. We always want to make sure that our consumer, our friends out there, right, must always work out the reserve fund for them. Must make sure to have the safety net. Why did I not worry about selling? Because I have already planned what I have reserved. A lot of people say, oh, I can borrow $2 million. No problem. I maxed out my loan. Is it right or wrong? I tell you, you are in very critical danger. Because why? You may have maxed out everything because you think you can afford now. But what happened next? So is it important to make sure you have enough reserve? That's the reason why this system RAM can help us to what? To acknowledge and look at numbers, whether is it risky or not risky. And the best thing that you can toggle until you're comfortable. And that is important, my friend. Because if we don't do that, right, we ourselves will have a lot of fear. I mean, the last thing that we want to buy a property or ask our customer to take action to buy property and they end up so stressful, and that's not what we want. We want what? We want a safe and sound. We want to be happy. We don't want to lead a life that is so stressful because you are working, you have children. But if you have planned carefully, will that happen? It will not. Because plan. So my friend, every investment, can we calculate? I want to tell all of you here, it's possible. Please calculate and don't say no until you look at the numbers. Of course, some people after calculating still cannot. And never mind, move forward. Next time, then you can do. Doesn't matter, right? So at the end of the day, what happened? The property price went up after 10 years. So did I lose my money? Actually, no, right? In fact, the profit margin, 238 people who make money. There's only 10 over people that lost money. Why? Because they have planned. They are not speculators. In fact, last year, anyone who buy property, they are speculators or not? They are not. Why? Because they are not here to speculate. They are here to what? Hold. Right? That is important. And eventually, I sold at 2001 plus per square foot. So at the end of the day, did I lose money? I did not. In fact, I put in 300 over thousand. I took back $1 million over dollars because of that. So at the end of the day, we do not need to sell when the market is down. As long as we plan forward, we have no issue at all. The last thing that we want to sell our flat is because we never plan to have enough what? Reserve funds. And I tell you, this is important aspect. And you must what? Take note of that. And I'm very sure that you must do what? Financial planning. That's why we always, I always like to tell my agents here, make sure that you work out the numbers for your clients. Make sure they are well taken care of. Make sure that the risk is always at the lowest point of the time. Make sure that they have enough. This is important. And this is something that I always advocate to tell my people here. So that's why it's important is what? My friend, is to really plan ahead. That's why everything I talk, everything that you must have is all about what? Facts and figures. Without facts and figures, don't do anything. Because why? That's called risk. That's why when it comes to buying, must you use the RAM? Must, right? So that you know how to work. Look at this. This is exactly just now I want to share with every one of you. This is one of the couple, 5 children. 6 years ago, they only had 1 property in Yishun, but today he has 3 condos, 1 brand new landed that he redeveloped himself. He is just only a PSLE person and completed, failed his PSLE, completed only NTC2. If this person can actually achieve so much in life, what about you? It's because they plan. If they never plan, it will not happen. If you plan, everything can happen. That's why I want to tell you guys, my friends here, it's important to always plan ahead and make sure that you have enough before you move forward in your life. Remember what I shared with you yesterday for those who have attended. Important is what? Is to have more saving. Because this pandemic has really taught us one thing, is to have enough. So that when we have enough, no matter what crisis can come along, because we cannot even foresee what is going to happen next, but if we have enough saving, would that be a good thing for all of you as a family? You can take care of your children, your family, and this is something that I think is important for all of you here. All right, lastly, just a last introduction of myself. For those who doesn't know me at all, I'm in the business for the last 18 years. I'm the ED of the company. I train all my agents as well. So I am myself is an investor too. So I definitely do all these things, right, to help our people here. So for those people who really wants to look out for more seminars, right, just check it with any of the agents out there. They probably can advise you better. All right. If not, thank you so much for watching what I'm going to share with you. I hope that the time that is given to me, just nice. I've completed my segment here. Of course, there will be, I'm not so sure whether, is there any question for me? Then I will probably answer this. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, what advice? Okay, because there's so many different questions, right? So let me see. What is the okay? Yeah. What advice will you give for someone with a 3-room, 40 years flat and wants to upgrade to a 4-room in a newer estate? Is it a HDB flat, right? I'm not so sure, right? If you ask me, first and foremost, let's understand the objective of why do we want to upgrade to a 4-room flat. If your understanding is because your flat is already older in terms of your HDB, maybe it's time for you to change to something newer, then probably that is the best way that you should be doing. Or these days when launches are overwhelming, it means we should not buy now, right? This question is a very important question. You see, there is always a 2 school of thoughts. So now are we at the emotion state or are we in the logical state? Whether people are buying or not, you must also look at one thing. When the market is uncertain at that point of time, there is always people who are the top 20% will take action. So the question is, are you the 20% or are you the 80%? Next, when you want to buy something, like I mentioned to you, must you have research? Must you have facts? So if you have the facts and figures, then you will know the answer. And the most important, my friend, we are not looking at a short-term investment. We are looking at a 3 to 5 years horizon. We buy something, we put our money there, and we look at it moving forward. But of course, like just how I mentioned, landmark. What did I do first? I do my research. So the question is, when you want to do something, don't let the people distract you. Do your own research. Check it out. Find out. And I believe you will find the answer for yourself. But isn't the transaction increased greatly in 2021 quarter 1 at peak now where agree buy now? Transaction definitely has increased. Why? Because definitely there's a demand. So again, emotion or logic? Why people choose to take action? Just it's the same answer that I just have answered the first question. The second question that someone was asking, is it overwhelming? I would say that the answer is actually the same, right? Because why? Because they know the numbers better than anybody. Especially today, right? The best thing is what, because attending workshop is much more convenient than anything else now. Last time you're lazy to travel to a show flat or lazy to travel to don't know which area to go and listen to a webinar, right? But today, no need, stay at home, relax, you can actually learn already. So the best thing is what? You get to have more information. So of course, when people have more information, will they take action more? Yes. Is it based on logic or is it based on emotion purchase? Then you need to know, right? That is important. But I want to tell everyone one very important thing. It just happened that I thought of this thing in my mind. Kelvin, I want to buy for investment. I also want to buy for my own stay. I want to tell every one of you here, this is a very important question that you need to ask. Why? If you want to buy for own stay, will you tend to buy something that is better facing, better high floor? But you cannot buy a high floor and the best facing at the lowest price, right? We must be logic, right? That's why when you want to buy something, you ask yourself, is it for investment? If I'm basing on investment, the only thing that I look at is what? Pricing. But if I'm buying for homestay, I will look for the unit that I like most. But you cannot say, I want to invest. I tell you, you forever will miss the boat because you are trying to put your own stay more in favor to investment because we are human beings and we are very emotional. We tend to buy what we like most and you forgot that investment. So you need to make decision. For those people who are buying for new launches, what is the difference between buying a new launch in the east and the west? Actually, there's no difference. You can't stay there. If you think that the east side can actually make more, can have a higher potential in terms of making, why don't you make the money next time you sell and buy something in the west side for your own house to stay? Like what my boss says, use other people's money to do what? To help you to buy something for your own stay. Isn't it that fantastic for you, right? I think this is important because I realized a lot of people always fall into this particular trap of what? I want to buy for own stay. I also want to invest. I tell you, very hard to find. By the time you find, you see that the price has gone up higher and higher. And at the end of the day, you still haven't bought yet. Why? Because you are in which state? Emotion state. And that is how it works, right? So, 2013, right? My wife and I were looking at private property. I was hesitant because I already owned several property, but she insisted as we needed a matrimonial house. Luckily, we signed the OTP before the ABSD came into effect. Based on your experience, should husband listen to their wife and make Stephen, right? Oh, sorry. This is a very important question, right? For me, of course, me and my wife, we are very clear. We only have one thing in our mind. We want to make sure that when we retire, both of us are happy. So whatever my wife says, and it makes sense to me, and I will tend to follow him. That's my style. But of course, I'm not saying that all of you must. It's really your own choice. But so far, everything is very smooth because why? I can only say one thing. When the husband and wife are aligned, everything will be good come to you. And that's how I will look at it, the whole thing. And that's how I believe, because me and my wife is very simple. We just only tell ourselves, we want a better life in the future. So whatever we decide is always be the best. As long as I mentioned during my last segment, or my segment says what? As long as we plan our safety, as long as we plan our reserve fund, there's nothing we need to worry. We do not want to buy a property and end up, right, having a lot of fear in our mind. And that's not something that I would like to be in. And I don't think any one of you should be in that position. We want to buy a property, we must be happy. Because only when you're happy in buying a property, you will make more money. That's always how me and my wife believe, and I'm very sure that you are on the way to make more, right? If I would sell my condo now and buy another one, the ABSA that I will incur, do you think is it worth to sell? Honestly, I only can tell you, the question was say, if I would sell my condo now and buy another one, the ABSE that I will incur is 15%. Do you think is it worth to sell? So the question here is that before you sell your property, my friend, you need to know one thing. is there anything for me to buy? If there's nothing for you to buy, then please don't do anything, right? So this is something that I would like to address. Of course, there are so many other different questions here and there. So unfortunately, we cannot answer all these questions here, but definitely we have to end here. And thank you so much for joining us. Of course, if you have any questions thereafter, feel free to drop us any message or to let your agents know. Probably they can advise you in greater detail. If not, thank you so much for joining me in this 1 hour session. I wish you all the best and take care. Now, hand over back to the lucky draw segment, right?
Thanks, Kelvin. Thanks for sharing the differences between logic and emotion when making property buying decisions. I am Terence from 99.co. I'm here on behalf of Rachel, so we'll conduct the lucky draw now. So shall we have the wheel spin? And here we go. All right, roll, spinning, spinning. And the first lucky winner is, let's see, Jocelyn Pei. Jocelyn Pei, congratulations. And our staff will contact you soon. Let's see for the second winner. Let's spin the wheel. And the second lucky draw winner is Celine Chia. Congratulations, Celine. So for the 2 lucky winners, our committee from 99.co will be contacting you on collection of your prizes soon. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending our show.
Hi, we're here today at Chorus at Keppel Bay, a development that combines the grandeur of the seafront and brilliant urban design. I'll be your host and I'll show you around this exclusive estate by the waterfront that is the ultimate epitome of a luxury retreat from the bustling city. We're now here at the private lift lobby of this 3,122 square feet 4-bedder deluxe suite. Digitally unlock your door and step into your glamorously decorated apartment designed by a star interior designer. The generous living area is ideal for hosting gatherings. Spanning the length of your entire living area, your balcony space is perfect for an alfresco dining experience. Enjoy the cool breeze from a balcony as you take in stunning views of the sea and the lush greenery with resorts worth Sentosa in the distance. The dining area easily accommodates 8 to 10. For more intimate conversations, head over to the Chill Out Lounge. This timber panel portal meticulously fitted within the passageway transports you into your deluxe suite of bedrooms. Retreat into your personal sanctuary where the spacious master bedroom easily fits a king-size bed with side tables.